company plans to build a new Noah's Ark to save humans from global apocalypse, prepping for the tribulation. Michael Schwartz from Western Journal on WND reports, if the state of the world these last few years has left you feeling that the apocalypse looms, you may not be alone. The U.S. Sun reported that Japanese developer Enark have plans for a giant floating city that could house 40,000 people during a catastrophic global event. Judging by the name they've adopted, these ambitious developers have found inspiration in the Old Testament story of the Great Flood in Genesis 6, 9, and 8 to 19. One wonders, however, whether perhaps they should be looking to the New Testament, in particular to the tribulation described in the book of Revelation. Those who anticipate Jesus Christ's second coming are not alone. Belief in Christ's imminent return has deep roots in Christian history. Perhaps the most famous or infamous example occurred in the United States in the middle of the 19th century, when Baptist minister William Miller attracted thousands of followers by predicting that Christ would return sometime during the period between March 21st, 1843 and March 21st, 1844. In his essay, The World's Last Night, C.S. Lewis described the scene as only he could. He says, thousands waited for the Lord at midnight on March 21st and went home to a late breakfast on the 22nd following the jeers of drunkard. There is no reason to suspect that the Japanese developers are a bunch of modern-day William Millers. On the other hand, we may yet have cause to jeer them, albeit for reasons unlike those of the gleeful drunkard. According to the Sun report, the new floating city would be resilient to an apocalypse. Furthermore, it would feature a range of buildings, including a sports stadium, along with an undersea data center and medical research facilities. In the new city, named Dogen City, D-O-G-E-N, everything would be afloat. Buildings could be relocated by simply sailing them from one place to another. Enark's development roadmap currently earmarks the year 2030 for completion, and designers see the city as a sea-based version of Elon Musk's SpaceX, the Sun reports. The developer's breathtaking vision, steeped in a human quest for innovation, deserves no mockery. As for the apocalypse-defying pretensions, let the jeering begin. Readers might recall that in 2014, the European Space Agency landed a probe on the comet. To someone who fails half the time he tries throwing crumpled paper into the wastebasket, a successful rendezvous with a heavenly object moving at a high rate of speed seems an essentially remarkable achievement. I remember thinking that way at the time, and alas, I do not remember thinking much about the comet. This is one thing to marvel. It's one thing to marvel at human accomplishments. It's another thing to take excessive pride in them when we know, or we ought to know, that the comet, like the human race, is God's creation. A single flick of a divine hand could send 1,000 such comets hurtling towards our Earth. This thought should give pause to those who believe their creations will be resilient to an apocalypse, quote unquote. On the subject of the end times, as on most related subjects, it might be best to give C.S. Lewis the final word. The doctrine of the second coming teaches us that we do not and cannot know when the world drama will end. The curtain may be rung down at any moment, say before you have finished reading this paragraph, end quote, Lewis wrote. And this article originally appeared on Western Journal. It's on WND. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support, and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.